Hi, welcome to Tim's Antique Trains. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Speaking of New Year, I have some old trains that I picked up recently. Let's take a look at them under the Christmas tree. My Christmas tree is still up, so it's a pretty good spot to take a look at these new acquisitions. First, we'll start at the cars that are underneath the tree that are on the track. These are really neat. They're actually handmade. Both this gondola and the boxcar. They're wood, S-gauge, with American Flyer trucks attached on the bottom. So that means they've probably been built in the late 1940s, the same era where the regular cars would have been built. I also picked up a set of freight cars, another gondola. This is a dumping car. Not sure what the number is on it. It actually doesn't say. This one is pretty neat. Instead of having the more typical, this was been earlier designed, so the contacts would have been underneath this truck to operate the solenoid. This may not be terribly special, but I've actually been kind of wanting one of these. It's neat because it's actually see-through, so you can actually see right through the sides on that. Yellow, the Katy boxcar, in very good shape. All of these will need some cleaning. And one day I'll set up the camera by the sink and we'll take a look at how I clean these and remove the white stuff on the wheels. It's actually pretty easy. I've got a American Flyer Chicago Northwestern flat car with a steel bridge girder that's detached. There's another caboose, an additional shell tank car, and, new to me, set of the red New Haven style passenger cars. So a Railway Express agency. These are all pretty dirty and will need to be washed. The 650 coaches. There's also an additional one that got a different place underneath the tree. That one is missing the light and the window things. It's also quite warped, so that means it's an early generation. I also make an attempt to straighten out the warping. And then here's another example of a warped shell. This one I may be able to actually repair the warpedness of it by using a heat gun. We'll see if we can make this usable and build a chassis for it. And then we have the 653 Pullman. This one is on its frame backwards. I'll reassemble that. That'll make a nice looking passenger set when it's all put together. One more little thing. This is an HO Lindbergh line model SW switcher locomotive. This is kind of neat. It's very heavy for its day, and it also has see-through vents. The bell is still on it. It's not broken off. For its age, it's pretty close to scale, but not quite. We'll take a look inside that someday and make a video on it and see whether this is a great engine or whether it was really terrible. That's to be found out. Speaking of terrible, or warped, let's go downstairs and take a look at my train set. The table, the original table, is quite warped and needs some major repairs. I'll see you down there. Well, we're down in the basement. It's time to make some repairs to this section of the layout. Shock! The American Flyer track has been completely removed from this section of the layout. And that is so I can make some structural repairs to the table. For the time being, all of the American Flyer trains have been moved to the newer section of the layout. Since this section is mostly finished, Now let's take a look at why I'm making these changes underneath. Let's see if I can situate this correctly. Look at that beautiful flat layout. Not sure if you can really tell exactly how warped that is, but this is really quite a terrible way to build a layout. So don't do this. Let's take a look at this. That is what I'm going to fix. So in order to fix that, the best way is to remove all of the extra track. Take some weight off. This middle is kind of floating. I'm going to put supports underneath that and raise it up at least a ½ inch, and on the far end close to a whole inch. It sagged that much. Part of that was because I had the heavy transformer sitting on this corner with nothing holding it up. And just like that, the old section of the layout is gone. It didn't take long to figure out that the best way to fix the warped table is to take it completely apart and start from scratch. I initially tried cutting extra support legs, and that just made the warping worse. So all of the HO track and trains were removed and carefully stored on the American Flyer layout, and the old green table was dismantled piece by piece, then the tops were reshaped into something new and better. The whole goal of this is to make the layout more user-friendly and just plain better. In the end, I think the new HO layout will be a major improvement, and I will be able to add scenery like a tunnel and rivers and bridges. So, while this reconstruction project is in progress, I will be posting videos on how I go about cleaning and repairing my American Flyer trains. Thanks for watching Tim's Antique Trains.